Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. How are you? I hope that you are doing amazing. I hope that you had a good weekend and that you are feeling really good. Today I'm going to be talking to you about what to do when your mind is flooded with so many negative thoughts. If you're somebody who lives in anxiety, if you live in depression, if you are constantly worrying about so many things in life, this video is for you. But before we get into this video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and turn on your bell notifications so you know the next time that I'm posting a video. Let's get into it. I must be honest and tell you that I am somebody who used to deal with so many bad thoughts. Like, it was so bad that I even got to the point where I was living in depression for some years. I had let my mind overtake me. I let my emotions overtake me. And there's a lot of people who are living in depression who don't even know it. It's true that your thoughts will run your life. Like, that's a very serious thing. And I did not know that until I realized how bad my world had become because of all of my negative thoughts. And to be honest with you, it took me a really long time to get over it. It took me a really long time to have a positive mind. Now, I do believe you can never stop a bad thought, but you can definitely stop the way that your mind shapes your world. So the first thing that I did was look to God. God is the creator and the maker of life. And so for me to get my perspective on what is true, I knew that I had to go to him. And the very first thing that he began to teach me was how to obtain peace. You know, some people can think that peace is when everything in your life is going good, you know, you have everything that you want, and so why not have some peace, right? But the truth is that you can have peace even in the midst of a trial. Living in worry, anxiety, and depression can really rob you of joy. It can rob you of truth. It can rob you of your life. I mean, you are walking around with not knowing how to live in the moment, on knowing what it means to love life. And when you don't get in control of those things, I mean, it truly will rob you of everything. And I was walking around in that place, and I got to a place where I was tired of it. I wanted to know what it meant to be happy, but happiness is very fleeting. It's a feeling that can come and go. But joy is one of those things that it's more than a feeling. It's like a foundational thing that you stand upon, that no matter what is happening in this world or in my life, I'm going to choose to see the good. And if you are somebody who doesn't read the Word of God, I suggest that you do so, because it has done wonders for me. I have grown so much into the place that I've always seen myself going, and my perspective on life has changed tremendously in such an amazing way. And I'm going to share with you some scriptures that I had to meditate on in order for me to have the peace that I have today. In Isaiah 26 and verse 3, it says that you keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on you, because he trusts in you. So God is telling us here, in order for us to have that peace, is for our minds to be on him and to trust in him. When I read that verse, I had to ask myself, is my mind truly stayed on God? Do I trust in him? And you know what? I had to answer myself honestly and say no. My mind is definitely not always on God, and my trust in him definitely needs some growth. I knew right there, this is the reason why I don't have peace, because my mind is always wandering into my worries. My mind is always wandering into my anxieties. My mind is always wandering into what if this and what can happen there, or whatever situations I'm going through. I am like literally digging deep and trying to understand it. And so of course, if my mind is wandering into 50 billion places, how could I ever obtain peace? And so I had to start shifting my thinking. And the first thing I had to do was have my mind be trained to be stayed upon God and to stay upon his word. And if I begin to do that, then I can begin to trust God even more than where I was. Because if my mind is always on God, He's going to remind me of His joy. He's going to remind me of His peace. He's going to remind me of His promises. He's going to remind me who He is. And as He's reminding me of all of these things, my trust and my faith in Him is going to begin to grow even stronger. And so I would suggest to you to get into a place where you ask God to help you to keep your mind stayed on Him. Am I all the way there? No, I am human. Of course, I battle bad thoughts sometimes, but I have definitely gotten better on how to control them and not let my thoughts run my life. Another thing that I would say in order for you to get in control and how to overcome those bad thoughts is for you to have joy. In 1 Peter 5:6-7, it says, "Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of God, so that at the proper time He may exalt you, casting all your anxieties on Him because He cares for you." A lot of the times we want to hang on to our burdens because we want to be able to figure them out ourselves. The more you carry your burdens, the heavier they will become. Because we are humans and we are not strong enough to carry all the weight of the world. And so the only one who has the true power to carry them is God. And as you see what it says in the verse, God knows that as humans we go through anxiety, and He knows exactly what we feel. He knows exactly how hard it is to not think negatively on something bad that we're going through. And He wants to be able to carry you. He wants to be able to lift you up. He wants you to throw your anxieties, your burdens, your cares upon Him, because He doesn't want you to carry them on your own. He knows that if you do, you're going to drown yourself. And so little by little, everything that I would go through, every situation, every bad thought, I would just give it to Jesus. I would say, Lord, here's this that's in my mind. Here's the situation that I'm going through. Instead of leaning on my own understanding, instead of leaning into what I can do to figure this out or fix this thing, I just gave it to Him. Everything that I'm trying to figure out on my own, He's already got the answer. All I have to do is go to Him and give Him whatever I'm going through, and He's going to give me my answer and my solutions. And so I encourage you for you to do the same thing. He is waiting for you to cast all of your cares upon Him, because He can carry you through them instead of you trying to carry yourself through them. And I want to read some more Bible verses with you to encourage you. In Philippians 4:6, it says, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God." So He's saying to you that if you would just humble yourself and give everything over to Him in prayer, with thanking Him, and continuously give supplications to Him, that He is going to relieve you of your anxieties. And so it's something I had to learn. Every time I have a bad thought, every time I'm going through something, I need to go into prayer. Prayer is something that has fixed so many things for me. Prayer is just simply conversation with God. Prayer has the power to fix everything because it shows just how much you are willing to let God into that situation that you're going through. I have learned in just talking to God, just simply having a conversation with me, has eased my mind, has eased all of the things that were going on within me. It made me feel like He was listening to me. It made me feel like He was there for me. It made me feel like I wasn't alone in something, but I have somebody there with me who cares about me. And so He's encouraging you to just give everything to Him so that He can relieve you of these anxieties that you're going through. You need strength and the willpower for you to live a healthier life in your mind, so that your world can reflect what your mind looks like. And the only way that you're going to get that strength is to ask God for that strength. You know, in our humanness, there is weakness there. And as much as you may want to stop something, negative thoughts can have a stronghold over you. You may want to start thinking positive. You may want to start living in your mind in such a loving way. And it's hard, but it's hard because we don't have the strength to be able to beat out those things. So we need that strength from God. I realized as I started to put all of these things together, everything that I explained to you, I realized just how much I began to have more hope. I began to have more life into my mind. I began to get free of my negative thoughts, my worries, my depression, my anxieties start to just get less and less, and I started to come up out of those things. And I realized just how much applying the Word of God into my mind changed me so much. My life became more like happy and more full. And again, not to say that sometimes I don't get a bad thought, but it just doesn't run me. It doesn't control my day, control my world, control how I see life. And I want to read one last verse with you. In Philippians 4:8, it says, "Finally, brothers, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is commendable, if there is any excellence, if there is anything worthy of praise, think about these things." God is showing you all the things that you need to have into your mind. Think about wonderful things. Think about honorable things. Think about things that are pure and just and lovely, worthy of praise. I mean, let's be honest, if your mind are on all of these things, it's going to be hard to not be happy. It's going to be hard to not have joy. But if your mind is into other things, like why am I going through this, or why is this happening to me, and you're just feeding all of those thoughts that's swarming this worry, this depression, this anxiety, you're just going to kill your spirit. But God is showing you that He has a solution, and He's even giving you direction on how to live a very fulfilled, joyful life, but it's going to start into your mind, and He knows that. And I promise you, it will make a world of a difference when you begin to allow Jesus to be into your mind, because He definitely did it for me. For somebody who used to live in such depression, anxiety, I live in such a dark place into my mind, like I can stand here today and tell you that I am free of those things, and He can do the same thing for you if you just allow Him into that place. And if you don't know how to, just ask Him for the faith in Him. Ask Him for that trust in Him, and He will give it to you. Well, that wraps up this video. I love you guys. Make sure that you share this with somebody, anybody who is living in this anxiety or depression, anybody who you know is just living in a dark place in their minds, or someone that you know their thoughts control them. Make sure to share this with them. Let me know if this video helps you in any way. Leave that in the comment section below. I love you so much, you guys. I'll be seeing you next time. Bye.